Hi, today we are going to learn about adaptation of living things in their habitat. When we say living organisms are adapted to their environment, this means that the way they look, the way they behave, how they are built, or their way of life makes them suited to survive and reproduce in their habitat. For example, African elephants have a long and flexible trunk. This adaptation lets elephants to reach high trees to get food, and they also have their trunks to suck up and spray water on their skin. This adaptation helps them to cool off in their hot habitat, and their long tusks are sharp and curved. This adaptation allows them to dig up the roots to eat. And looking into the next example, the tallest land animals in the world, giraffes, lives in the savanna grassland of sub-Saharan Africa. They exhibit several characteristics developed through their evolution in the grassland environment, where they have a long neck to help them avoid food competition from other herbivores, and they will be able to browse leaves off the tops of the grassland. Other than that, they also have a strong tongue, which is well adapted to acquiring leaves in the savanna. The giraffe's tongue is the strongest of any animal and is exceptionally long at 18 inches. Looking at another example, let's look into how polar bear is adapted to its Arctic environment. Their white fur helps them to blend in with the snow and the ice. And the polar bear also has a layer of fat under its skin, which helps them to stay warm. They also have thick layers of fur. And every organism has a unique ecosystem for its habitat. This ecosystem is its natural habitat. This is where the organism meets its basic need for its survival, just like food, water, shelter from the weather, and a place to breed its younglings. The geographical feature and environment conditions on Earth differs from one place to another. So now we will look into the adaptations of animals to one of the world's important habitat, which is the desert. Desert Deserts are areas that receive a very little rainfall, less than 25 centimeters annually. In hot desert, daytime temperature in summer can reach 45 degrees Celsius. So organisms which lives in this habitat such as cactus, camel are adapted differently to enable continuous survival in their habitat. Now let's look into how a camel is adapted to live in a desert. First of all, they have long eyelashes to keep the sands out of their eyes. They have hump which stores fat to provide energy for long periods of time in desert. They have long muscular legs that allow camels to walk for miles across the desert. They have leathery knee to prevent them burning when kneeing on hot sand. They have white feet which prevents them from sinking into the sand when they walk. They have thick fur which helps to keep the sun's heat away during the day but provides warmth at night. They have nostrils which can be closed to prevent the sand from blowing in. Okay, now let's look into how a cactus is adapted to the desert. They have thick waxy skin unlike any other plant to reduce the water loss through pores, large fleshy stem to store a lot of water, spikes to protect them from predators and also to reduce the surface area for transpiration, and widespread shallow roots. This is to make sure the roots can collect as much water as they can from the soil. Now, let's try to answer this question. Write the names of the correct organisms next to its adaptation below. We are required to choose the name of organism from the given three examples to fill in the spaces provided. Now let's look at the first statement. Hump where fat and water can be stored. We know obviously it is a camel. Thick fur to keep the organisms warm. It's a polar bear. Long roots which can grow deep in the ground to get at water below. And it should be the cactus to absorb as much water as they want. Covered in a pointy projection called needles to protect them from predators. Of course, again, is cactus. They have strong teeth and claws. Camels are herbivores, cactus, they are plants. So it should belong to the polar bear. Long eyelashes. This is to protect them from sandstorms. Obviously, it's a camel. Long, hollow stem which has a great store of water. It is cactus. Cactus has thick stem which can collect as much water as they can. They have specially shaped toes for walking in sand. None other than camel. Yes, we have done with the question and that's all for today. Thank you.